He's been a tough competitor for a good number of years. I mean, he was in the original Circus Tavern when it started down there, and he's been around since then, been in and out of the rankings, but he's had a bit of a resurgence of his game of late. But this is a must-win for Wes Newton. He's just started to come off the top of his form. He's just started to slide a little bit in certain ranking lists, and that's dangerous. You've got to get back. You've got to get serious. And so Wes Newton, sometimes it's just a little bit of luck. You know, you've missed an odd double and the opponent takes out a big shot. You know that happens. But when it starts to get at you a bit, then all of a sudden you put yourself under pressure, you tighten up a bit. And that's just where Wes has gone a little bit. So he needs to just, you know, rely on his own ability to get him through. Try and stay a little bit more relaxed. Let the arm just do its business instead of the brain tightening it up too much.
We've seen Wes at all of the European Tour events so far this year. Quarterfinals in 2 of them. That's his best showing at Veldhoven and in Austria. We also saw Smithy in Austria. He was beaten in the first round by Mensur Suljovic. And still getting sorted on the nearest the ball to throw first here.
Well, normally, Mike, it's normally, you know, 25 balls, both of them going. Not any of them have hit 25 yet. Smithy with the 6th dart finally decides who throws first.
First leg, Dennis to throw first. Game on!
And it is the man from Swindon getting us underway then as the second round continues of the European Darts Open here in Dusseldorf. And what a cracking start by Dennis Smith. Can he fill it up? Plenty of room there. Can't quite do it.
Well, Smithy, one of those players, you're not going to rush him. He's a little bit slower than the norm of the dart player. So you're just going to, you know, you're going to get more time standing behind him. We're just adjacent to the stage here, and I can see just Wes, you know, standing back, looking at his flights. You mustn't get too edgy and want to get to the board too eager, because what normally happens, and I'm just about to say, you know, if you start throwing the dart before your opponent gets back, you're going to start drifting a few of them into the 5s. You've got to let him get back past your shoulder.
And we saw Wes in the Premier League this year and last year and get relegated from the bottom 2 spots. Is that something else which may well have dented his confidence a bit? Premier League performances?
I think so. I think all the players that have played in the Premier League that have not done well will say, no, it had no effect to me, blah, blah, blah. But the fact is that it does affect you. You know, week in, week out. You know, you're not getting an easier draw like you might do on a Pro Tour event. You're playing one of the best players in the world that is going to give you a whacking if he gets a chance. And when you're on a downer in that, it really does take toll, you know, on your mental approach and your own ability. You start to doubt it. You know, am I one of the best players in the world? You know, because I'm getting beaten every week. And, you know, there are some people, I think Mark Webster's one, that has not yet come back from it. I mean, he will probably deny that it was the Premier League, but I'm pretty sure, you know, that was the telling statement of it all.
So 8-8 then for a 14 darter to kick us off for Dennis Smith. That's a great marker.
Game shot
gets
first leg. Dennis Smith, second leg, West.
Well, a level 15 leg from Dennis Smith to start his game off against Wesley. We've kind of nicknamed that a power leg now to keep relating things to golf, but it's a good one.
Yeah, we saw in our previous match Justin Pipe just took a couple of legs just to get warmed up, and then the checkouts as he got into his stride came down as the match went on. So it was a good convincing performance by Justin Pipe. And maybe John Rodriguez didn't really see him at his best, that the sort of form we know he can turn on. But it is Justin Pipe will play Peter Wright or Michael Smith in round 3.
123.
Well, it's like with all the youngsters, you see them have some great games and you see them have some atrocious games. That's where they've got to get the experience. I mean, the Phil Taylor's never got that consistent in the early part of his career. And they've just got to accept that it happens and get over it the best way possible. It is hard when you're a young man because, you know, they want everything now or tomorrow. They can't wait next year or the year after. I've got a son, so I know firsthand.
So 101 left, but he will be back with Dennis still back on 278. Yes, I suppose it's all about managing expectations. You want to set targets, you want to be ambitious, you want to push yourself, but I'm sure as a father or a manager, part of your job is also to just manage those expectations at times.
It is. Well, what you don't put too much pressure on from the start. You don't say, right, I want you to win 2 majors in the next 2 years. As Wes wants double top. You know, you make it, especially to the newcomers, you make it very realistic. You know, I say to him, if you can improve 2 or 3% every year over the next 5 years, that gives you, 10 to 15% on what you are now. Then all of a sudden you're going to start contesting Pro Tour events, semi-finals and finals. If you don't improve that much, then obviously you're going to fall by the wayside like a lot of other people do.
So Newton then back for that double top. That's a good marker. And there it goes. We're all square. They've one apiece. And Dennis had just put a little bit of pressure on that shot and was poised on 58. Had was faltered on the double top, but as it is, we're all square early on.
Just going back to expectations of what you can do and what you want to do. I was talking to Kevin Painter, and we were talking about people that are on the slide. They've got to change something. As you get older, your body changes and your attitude changes, so you've got to change with it. And Kevin said, I've changed the way I practice now. I'm actually enjoying practice now, and that's the key phrase really. If you're enjoying practice, you're going to take that enjoyment onto the main stage. But if practice becomes boring, you're just as likely to leave it alone for a little while. Because otherwise you get on that stage and your subconscious takes over and you're not going to be as consistent as what you should be, especially at the win games on this big stage.
That 140 by Newton's hopefully kick-started this leg, which had yet to really get going after the opening visits by the 2 players.
Well, this is where Wes has got to follow up that 140 with another one. Get control in the leg. That's a good marker. Yeah, that's a good 6 starts from Wes Newton.
And now Dennis has suddenly found his aim on the treble 20. So we will try and set this up in the hope that Dennis can't take out the big 158.
Well, there's an outside chance here for Smith to hold on to his throw. If he doesn't take it out, just set it up. He knows that Newton will only get possibly 1 dart at a double, may get 2 at double 12. But he's done that, he's put the pressure on, so now Wes Newton for that treble 12, treble 18, sorry, that'll leave him double 12. 20 for tops, and he's got to move across, get that flight out of the vision.
58. Then he should require 60.
So double top for Dennis Smith to hold on to his throw.
Game show
And
the
gets
third
it.
leg. Dennis Smith, full flag, wasted.
Well, the 2 140s from Wes Newton in that leg only produced one dart at a double.
90.
And that was missed. So Smith holds on to his throw. And also when you're on a little bit of a downer, you know, you're not on the top of your form, the longer the game goes on and gets nearer the finishing line, you kind of start to doubt yourself a little bit more. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in this match if Wedge can keep his concentration and keep attacking.
I don't know whether anyone's approached him, but it would be interesting to see what Dr. Steve Peters would make of the game of darts and darts players. The man who's helped snooker players, worked with footballers and football teams, a sports psychologist, worked a hell of a lot with Ronnie O'Sullivan.
But the one thing, Mike, with a dart player is, not all of them, but most of them would never admit that they've got a problem. And that is the first thing you've got to sort out. Yes, I've got a problem. I'm not playing to what I used to be. What am I going to do about it? Now, if it's, well, if you can admit it, in any other sport, you'd go and see a coach. In golf, in football, you've got problems, you go and see an expert. In darts, they don't. They've got this ignorance, arrogance, whatever you like to call it. Perhaps I was one of them. But no, I can sort myself out. I don't need other people. And some people around them, by them going to see someone else, shows weakness to them. But it's a business. If you're not playing well, get it sorted out.
Well, much better leg from Wes Newton. Potential 14 darter. And that last treble was important, just to put a bit of pressure on Wes here.
Needs this double top as Wes. And he's missed again. A little bit more pressure there showing on Newton. Now Dennis Smith, this could be a real crucial check out for Smith to get control in the match and double 10 for a 3-1 lead. It looks nice and big from here, doesn't it?
Yes, he just moved along the hockey just to get a better view of that. And an important breaking throw. And a 3-1 lead for Dennis Smith, who reached semi-finals of both the World Championships and the World Grand Prix, twice the World Grand Prix actually, in the early part of the last decade.
Well, that first dart of double 10, you know, the camera angle there was great because you could actually see what the player could see. And that dart made the double look bigger. Visually, the dart becomes a brick wall, so you just go, well, I can't miss this. And that extra little bit of confidence, you know, we talk so much about confidence in a dart player, and it is all confidence. That 6 inches between the ears is the biggest problem that most sportsmen have.
There you can see the double top has not been kind to Wes Newton in this match. Is he going to fill this up? This second of this match.
Well, there we have the check-outs. That's brilliant from Dennis Smith, but that's pretty poor from Wes. He's got to start getting on a run here. And he's got to start it now. He's got to break Dennis Smith in this leg. Is he going to follow up with another maximum?
140.
So again, Newton will be first to a finish. Well, it's a question of whether he can take it out and stop Dennis Smith from starting to build up a bit of a head of steam here.
got to hit a treble now.
85.
That's a lifeline of a dart, that was.
Again, Smith will just be looking to get a treble if he can, only 60.
Weight should require 52.
So double top then. It's not been kind to him so far.
32.
And not hitting it again.
Then it should require 120.
Be interesting, Mike, to see, you know, in the next few legs, if he has a choice to go for the tops or the 16s like he did there. Will he decide to have a pop at them 16s or stick with that double top?
Smith wants the bullseye.
Oh,
Inside
what a shot.
And it's 6 leg wasted.
Well, that was a real punch in the guts to Wes Newton. A 1-2-2 check out on the bullseye from Dennis Smith.
And it always happens when you're on a downer, you're missing a couple of darts at a double and your opponent always takes it out. It's just the way the game is. As I say to so many players when they complain about it, I said they're actually allowed to do it.
81.
I don't complain about it, you just got to make sure you don't give them a shot at the double. Of course, Wes had plenty of darts to win the last 2 legs.
140.
And that probably tells the story. Wes's first 9 average. But it's at the business end of the legs where he's been missing the doubles, the important bit.
And that relates to those averages. You know, that 109 first, the first 9 darts is brilliant, but the average after that's pretty poor, and that's why. 1 in 8. It's just got to take one leg at a time, think, you know, I've not lost this, I've got to stay focused. You know, win this leg, right, move on to the next. I know it sounds so basic, but players do overcomplicate situations and make it worse for themselves.
46.
We have Roby John Rodriguez, who we saw go out to Justin Piper in his first round match. He was 4-1 down before turning it around and winning 6-5 this afternoon. Can Wes bounce back? A 1-5-2 check out, one of the double 16.
Then it should be 140.
Well, the 1-2-2 in the previous leg was a haymaker. Now I'd stay on that treble 20. I know he's going to go for the 18s, but that treble, that dart, he only had to lay it on the flight, and that would definitely been in as the third dart was.
So double 16 for Newton. Just to stop the rock and reduce the arrears to 4-2.
It was only with his throw though, so he's going to have to break Dennis Smith.
And Dennis is looking to fill it up again. Ton 40 he has to settle for. Wes just adjusting himself along the oki to good effect.
Well, a chance for Newton, and he's got to take it. Needs a 140 plus. Coming down to those 19s, can't afford to have a visit without a treble. No, he's hit the treble, so he's put a little bit of pressure on, but nothing to frighten Dennis Smith.
This is the 11th meeting between these two men. Wes leading the head-to-head 7-3. The last time they met was earlier this year in Crawley at a Players' Championship event.
140.
where they met in the first round, and Dennis won that 1-6-5. And he's leading here in the European Darts Open in Dusseldorf.
139. Dennis is 169.
I was going to say possibly 6 darts from here, maybe only 3. No, I like the 25 with that third dart. It would have given him 2 darts guaranteed if Wes don't take this out, where coming back, only guaranteed 1. No, if he hits the treble 8 or the treble 16, he's going to get 2, but that 25 would have left him 59, 19, 2 at clear at tops.
So to go to within 1 leg of victory, double 16 for Dennis Smith. Oh, went the wrong side
46.
and went into double 7.
Game start the 7th.
And he's right back in it now, Newton.
8 leg, waits to throw first.
Well, it's now Smith who's missed the dart of the double and let Wes in. It's a good clean check out from Newton on the 83. Now he's got to get onto a run. Let's put him back in this game.
95.
Will that 1 dart at the double affect Dennis Smith?
Yes, could be a big turning point. 5-2. Would have looked a lot
45.
different to the 4-3 scoreline we have here.
Well, there we have the stats. That 1 in 8 on the double top for Wes Newton. And you can see most of his legs have been 1 or 2 out of the 3 have been 1 on that double 16. So as I said earlier on, it'll be interesting to see if he's thinking about the double top, whether if he has the option, he'll switch to that double 16. I know sometimes the combination says you can't go for the 16s, you have to stay on the tops, but with the option, let's see what Wes Newton does.
134.
Good cover on the 19s by Newton. And next match on stage here will see the number 11 seed Mervyn King up against Darren Johnson. Darren Johnson who beat former BDO world champion Jelle Klassen this afternoon.
85.
That'll be followed by Steve Beaton against Kevin Painter. Adrian Lewis against Benito van der Pas.
81.
Simon Whitlock against Raymond van Barneveld. And Andy Hamilton against Darren Webster. Plenty more great darts to come for the rest of this Friday evening here in Dusseldorf.
Yes, and if you're wondering at home why Barney is taking on the Wizard this early on in the tournament, it's because Barney stepped out of a lot of the Pro Tour events where this ranking and this seedings come from. But Barney has to go through the qualifiers here in Europe. You don't force players into playing any tournament. But don't complain when you don't get seeded.
140.
Well, that 140 does put a bit of pressure on this 68 from Newton. He wants a double 16. And again, interesting that it was the double 16 that he needed, but Smith here against the throw to go to within 1 leg of victory.
Well, he hit the bullseye for a 1-2-2 in a crucial leg.
65.
Not this time, so surely Wes will get it back to parity. And does. The double 16 is very more fruit to the double top from Wes Newton. And now he's back in this game, but he's still got to break the throw of Dennis Smith. And down to a best of 3 game of darts.
And yes, Newton, the man from Fleetwood in Lancashire, has won the last 3 legs in a row.
60.
And I believe he plays Ronnie Baxter in the match play in a couple of weeks' time. That'll be a good local derby.
Yes.
Baxter from Blackpool and
83.
Wes from Fleetwood, just up the road. Well, there we have it. Only one leg under 15 darts from Wes on the last three. On the 19 darts up, Dennis Smith, I feel a little bit grieved that he's allowed him to have 19 darts to win a leg.
His fourth 180 of the match. And is the tide beginning to turn the way of the number 15 seed? As you said, Rod, still needs to find a break from somewhere.
140.
Well, he's going to get 6 darts from here, whatever happens.
85.
He's going to need 9, I think, but he may get 9. But Dennis now 166, one of the few checkouts under 170 that can't be achieved. But he can certainly set it up, and that's exactly what he's going to do. And again, in a leg where you thought Wes Newton was running away with it, all of a sudden 2 good scores from Smith, and he's put the pressure on.
Yeah, Smith has been hitting the big scores just at the right time, hasn't he, to put pressure on his opponent.
93. That should require 35.
So double 16 then. Next door, double 8.
90.
Can't do it. Could be another big moment.
And certainly Wes let Dennis off in the early part of the match. Oh, and that's hit the flight. That was going to be low anyway, so it might have done him a favour. But that's not low. And now it's Wes Newton who starts to nick the legs. Ultra important one it was as well. It's a 5-4 lead, and that was a breaker throw. And I think you can see Dennis Smith in our camera shot there, looking up, cursing himself for missing those 2 darts at the double. It's a bit of a workmanlike performance from Wes Newton, isn't it? It's not fireworks, he's just getting the job done.
Sometimes that's just what you need to do. Get back to your hotel room, get a good night's sleep, and then prepare for your next game. Barry Anderson or Gerwyn Price will meet the winner of this one. Gerwyn Price, who's combining a darts career with a rugby union career, playing as a hooker in Neath in Wales. And he beat former world number 1 Colin Lloyd this afternoon
82.
in the first round.
$57.
Wes Newton have to go all round the board there. The way Wes's darts come in, they lay badly to the right, so if he does throw a low dart, it covers up more of that treble than it would do, say, the Dennis Smith dart. And then we see it again, you know, to move over to the right, he'd have to move over a long way. We can see that's a perfect example how he's going to have to come up again.
So can Smith take us to an 11th and deciding leg?
81.
Followed up a ton 40 with 81, but he is down to 99. And Newton's going to put some real pressure on this.
135.
That's a 3-dart combination from 99. 2 double tops he's going for. Oh.
Just caught the flight on the way in, didn't it? Deflected it out. So now Wes should go for the treble 10. He goes for the double top. He's gone for the 18s. He missed it. So he's got to go 16 bullseye now. Oh, what a time for these 2 big numbers. And, you know, that's just pressure for you. When you're on the back foot, you start to doubt yourself, and that's exactly what he's done.
Double 10. This is huge for Smithy, and he does it with aplomb to take us to 11 and deciding leg. And Dennis has the throw here, importantly.
Well, this is where Dennis, knowing that Wes is going to be cursing himself, kicks off at a 140. Even the ton, so this is where Wes has got to show a lot of character, a lot of fight, determination. He's got to dig deep here.
Good recovery with the second dart after the first was very low. Another solid ton from Dennis Smith. But in comes Newton. He's 4th of the match.
Brilliant darts from Newton that. You know, his back is well and truly up against the wall here. And he fires off a maximum to get himself back in this leg and the match. Oh, that's a great reply though.
Great darts for the veteran from Swindon.
95. That is should require 161.
Well, maybe the nerves getting to them both as they approach the finish line. Just 40, but this is no easy ask, and he'll just look now, Wes, to try and hit a big treble. He does with that last dart.
Well, we see Jamie Caven take this out to beat Stephen Bunting 6-4. And Dennis is going to get a dart on the bullseye to take Wes Newton out, the number 15 seed.
88. Wes should require 71.
Well, what a way to do it. Unconventional. I think the relief on Wes Newton's face says it all. And the number 15 seed edges through, beating Dennis Smith, who's, you can see, kicking himself. He knows he had that game in his hands.